Busch Grand National driver started out strapping himself into the cockpit of a car like this on a track like this. Late model stocks at the fast Nashville USA Speedway. From a speedway that has produced more than its share of past and present stars of Winston Cup racing, Nashville, USA. The COMDATA 200 as part of All-American 400 weekend showcases the track late model stars and drivers, many of whom have moved on up the ladder. Hi, everybody, and welcome to Nashville. I'm Mike Joy alongside Buddy Baker. And, Buddy, this track, the competition here is hard to believe it's that close.
Well, it is, Mike, and the reason for that is the competition level here, and the drivers that this racetrack has produced have brought some great people out because the straightaways you run down so fast, and then you have high bank corners, two abreast through the corners. It resembles a lot of racetracks that they'll eventually run in the Grand National, Busch Grand National rather, and the Winston Cup racing.
Well, a list of track champions here is a who's who of auto racing. Cuckoo Marlin, Darrell Waltrip, Jimmy Means, Sterling Marlin, and Mike Alexander among them. And joining us, Bobby Hamilton, who has 4 championships here, including 2 in this late model division. Bobby, what makes this track so competitive, and what makes it such a good lead-in to somebody who wants to move on up?
Mike, as Buddy was saying, the racetrack is so fast. Today's race, whoever you see that runs off the corner the strongest all day long, they'll point that car off the bottom, run out to the wall, and then make their last turn. Then is going to be the guy that runs up front all day. We go to Rockingham, we go to Darlington, even Daytona and Talladega. The way you get off at turn 2 at this racetrack goes to them racetracks too.
Very fast, very competitive racetrack. And the man who was the track's winningest active driver and last year's champion of this event is on the pole. Matt Yoakum's with him.
Well, Mike, 2-time track champion and pole sitter Chad Chaffin had a huge dilemma on his mind today. The promoters offered a $5,000 bonus if he would drop from the pole, starting the race in the rear, and end the day in victory lane. Chad, are you going to take the big gamble?
No, Matt, we're going to start up front. Last year we had the same option, and we started on the pole, and we was able to win the race, and we just feel that the track position is too important. Our entire strategy is evolved around track position, where in the past it was tire strategy and tire conservation. This year we think track position is going to be the key.
Well, this will be the guy everyone's shooting for today. 15 wins last season and 6 starts this year. Only 1 victory. Mike?
Well, he had a great week. This fella didn't. Dale Earnhardt Jr. checked up in practice. A car ran in the back of him, and both were engulfed in flames. Bobby Hamilton loaned him a backup car from his stable, and the steering column had to be modified to fit the lanky Earnhardt. But he hopped into an unfamiliar car and qualified it in the top 10. Matt?
Well, Mike, not the traditional Intimidator black that you usually see Dale Earnhardt Jr. drive. He borrowed a car from Bobby Hamilton. Dale, how difficult is it going to be to race to victory lane in a car you're not too familiar with?
Well, hopefully everything's working good on the car. We got a little bit of practicing this morning as well. We just rolled the car off the trailer and qualified it, and well, we hope we have a good run. We thank Bobby Hamilton for loaning the car to us, and our sponsors, Mom and Pops, can't be on the car, but they're with us in their hearts and everything. And we lost the race car yesterday, but we still get to race, and that's what it's all about.
Well, thanks to Bobby Hamilton, he does. Starting alongside in 8th will be his temporary teammate, 16-year-old protege of Bobby Hamilton, is Casey Atwood. Mike?
Earnhardt Jr. is no stranger to Nashville. He started on the pole for a race here earlier this season. We'll be back with the starting lineup of these future Winston Cup stars after this. They fired engines here in Nashville, Tennessee for the COMDATA 200 for NASCAR late model stocks. Here's the way they'll roll off today. Chad Chaffin, the 2-time track champion, is on the pole, and Mike Reynolds is alongside. The 96 track champion Andy Kirby in row number 2 with Charles Powell III out of the Carolinas. Joe Buford, one of the track's winningest drivers, and Billy James will share the 3rd row. There's Dale Earnhardt Jr. and his teammate today, Casey Atwood, in row 4. Lee Tissett and Todd Morris will start in the 5th row. From New Jersey, Todd Cray and Tommy Clymer in row 6. Former national champ Robert Powell with Jeff Higdon in the 7th row. Dean Howard and Jimmy Valentine fill row number 8. Mark Blasingame in the 9th row with Russell Winstead. Row 10, David Littleton there with Joe Brantley. Row 11, Wade Allen Buttry and Jimmy McLean. In row 12, Craig Wilson and Jim France. Mike Murray and Jerry Coble, who will have our in-car camera today, in the 13th row. Dwayne Hudson and Chad Mullis back in row 14. Row 15 is Rodney Edwards and Bernie Hamlet. Jerry Underwood and Mike Green in the 16th row. Then Ricky Bolden, the track record holder, and Gilbert King. Row 18 is Ryan Zeck and Andy Houston from North Carolina. Jason Oates and Cecil Chun. In the 19th row, Paul Cummings and Mike Freeman fill out the field. And you'll be riding along with Jerry Coble in that 99.7 COMDATA machine, starting in the 26th spot. Looking on the roof cam of that car, and also out the right side window and over at the driver, ready to go to work.
Probably about the first 10 cars right now are single file, kind of going back and forth across the racetrack. Why do they single file them like that before the start of the race?
Ever since they repaved the racetrack, buddy, they designed a harder race tire for here because the temperatures got so demanding on the tires. They were blistering tires, so they're letting them string out a little bit to get a little heat in the hard tires, because in the past here, when they started them double wide, they would have a couple of cars to get loose and cause trouble, so they're just getting heat in.
Today, $45,000 is at stake. That includes the $5,000 that Chaffin waved off by not electing to start in the back. And the race will cover 200 laps. On each caution flag, the drivers are allowed to put on no more than 2 tires, and they have a total of 6 tires waiting in the pit. Each pit plus the 4 tires they have on the car. Total of 10 available to them. Becky Williams brings the pace car around as the field gets set to go. 0.6 of a mile is Nashville Speedway. 18-degree banking, and the length of the straightaways posted as 900 feet. So we're getting set to go racing here at Nashville, and we'll get the green flag in the COMDATA 200 right after this word. Welcome back to Nashville. We're just getting set for the green flag. Quickly, a check with Matt Yoakum.
Well, Mike, Andy Kirby will start third today, directly behind Chaffin. The big thing about him today is he's got momentum on his side. The last 7 events here at Nashville, 4 wins, 2 seconds. His only finish outside of the top 5 is a 24th.
Yes, but the last 2 of the season's events won by Joe Buford, both extra distance affairs at 125 laps. Getting set to go green at Nashville for this long distance race for these cars. They'll run 300 laps in November, but today it's 200. And right off the break, Chaffin gets a good jump while Kirby settles in the 4th spot. Mike Reynolds in 2nd as they round out of turn number 2. Charles Powell in 3rd.
Earnhardt smoking down the back straightaway going into turn 3. I don't know whether it might have overfilled the gear or what, but he is smoking down the front straightaway, and he's pulling over as we speak.
Trouble for Dale Earnhardt Jr. He's dropped to the apron down in turn number 1. A little bit of rear end smoke there, or driveline smoke of some sort. Hard to tell from up here. We'll get a report from pit road as he comes in. Chaffin will lead the first lap, Reynolds in 2nd, and Powell right there in 3rd. Kirby has a challenge for 4th spot. Underneath him is Joe Buford at 107, winner of the last 2 races here. Buford, a driver who hopes to move up next season. Not quite sure what his plans are just yet.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. just done something very smart. He dropped to the rear of the field, and he's going to find out why it was smoking. He's just riding along now. He's not taking a chance of maybe creating a problem for the whole field. So he's dropped back to left. It has quit smoking.
And he does not lose a lap by pitting the car under green. Heads up.
I tell you what happens sometimes is when they work on these cars and they adjust the laps or maybe change a gear or something, it just takes a while to burn it off the exhaust, so that's probably all it was.
Yeah, he's passing cars now. He started in the very back here. Look what a jump Chaffin has on the bunch here. Chaffin. Easy enough for me to say, huh?
The battle is behind him, and it's still at 4th spot. Joe Buford trying to stay underneath Andy Kirby. There's Earnhardt, tail end of the field. Matt, what's the trouble with that car?
Just seems like Dale Jr. can't get any good luck this weekend. They've got a vibration. They're not exactly sure what it is. In communication with his crew, he thinks they're just going to ride it out and wait to the first caution to try to bring him in and see if they can find out what the problem is.
Back up front. Chaff in the leader. Good tightening up battle there for second, and they were side by side for fourth, but that has gone away. Andy Kirby holds fourth against Joe Buford. Also dropping back our in-car camera machine. Jerry Coble in 99.7 has dropped back a bit. There's a second place fight. Bobby, you think these two are gonna ride a while, or some of the fellas tell me with the Hoosier tire the track mandates here, you can go at it hard all day long.
The tire's a really good race tire. Chad is a real good conservative race car driver, but the boy in the 86 car believes in going wide open all day long, and if Chad lets up a little bit, the 86 will be all over him.
Mike Reynolds feeling the heat from number 34, Charles Powell out of the Carolinas.
Charlie Powell is a very, very aggressive race car driver, and anybody that's ever been to Myrtle Beach has watched him run down there, knows his way around racetracks.
Bit of a look back through the mid-pack there with 04 Jeff Higdon chasing Lee Tissot in 99. And what a pack of cars behind him. Todd Cray from New Jersey there in 21, the maroon car. And the 55 of Dean Howard. Now that pack goes into turn one as the leaders are midway down the backstretch.
Mike, these are bias fly tires, and you can see in the corner. They don't mind hanging them out because you can do that with a bias fly tire and regain control over the cars. So when you see one cross up, it's not like radial tires where you lose the car.
Mike, I noticed the 10 car, Andy Kirby, is starting to walk up the racetrack a little bit, starting to run in the second groove, and generally he runs in the lower groove here. They said about 2 weeks ago a race was won here, 2 races were won here by people running in the upper groove, and it was between the 10 car of Andy Kirby and the 107 of Buford, so it looks like the groove's going to move up.
And buddy, we noticed in qualifying that some of the drivers that ran a higher line ran better up in the order. And here are those two.
We have a battle for fourth place there.
That's Kirby on the outside of Buford on the bottom. Joe Buford's father, Fluky Buford, was track champion here. And now is the car owner for his son.
Well, Joe Buford will not give you an inch. You can see him going down in the corner there. These guys are fighting like it's the last lap, but let me tell you something. They're fighting for not only position, they're fighting for place on the racetrack and up front where you want to be. You don't get near the trouble up front as you do back in the pack.
Boy, that outside groove, Kirby does not give up anything to Buford by running the outside.
What happens, Mike, is these motors are rated at 350 horsepower. They run a very small carburetor, and when you make that groove higher, it gets the RPMs up higher off the corner.
Buford wins the battle for third for now. Meanwhile, Dale Earnhardt Jr. is back on the move. He's pulled up to Jerry Underwood.
You can see right there, he's passed a pack of cars already. Apparently, he's decided that little bit of vibration he had, and you see it's not smoking anymore, so he's picking it up right now.
Got balked by a lapped car there. 29 of Mike Freeman, and then goes back after. Now, Bobby, you own this car?
Well, Terry Atwood and myself own it.
Right.
It's a brand new car. Casey drove it one time, and Casey didn't like it, so he elected to stay in the car he's got. And the car is always tested real fast, and Dale's doing a real good job with it. The car is really running fast right now.
And so I understand you have a buyer for the car?
Yeah,
Somebody wants it?
Yeah, he was wanting to buy it Monday, and I told Terry, I said, I loaned your race car out, and he said, man, I had somebody want to buy it Monday, and I said, well, tell them they can come and watch it run this weekend then. We got one spin up here in turn 1 and 2. Boy, they just barely get through there.
That'll be the 23 of Rodney Edwards. That has gone around in turn 2, and it brings us under the caution flag for the first time today. So Rodney Edwards spinning, didn't see the contact that started it. He was 15th in the point standings here at Nashville this year. And that will be the first caution of the afternoon. Let's have a look and see what happened here.
Well, it looks like he had a little help from behind there from the number.
I can't read the number on it, buddy.
Went by that fast.
Yeah, that was a fast spin.
I think that could have been. Well, we won't speculate. In any case, we're under caution for the first time in this 200-lapper. We'll be right back. Race into the all-new official store of NASCAR. It's NASCAR Thunder at Gwinnett Place Mall in Atlanta, Haynes Mall in Winston-Salem, and coming to Knoxville and Dallas. 10 to 12 more stores next year. NASCAR Thunder and the Go Racing official clothing line of NASCAR. Check it out. Little surprise on this pit stop. There's not the 98 Billy James, but that the 34 Charles Powell, the third-place car, came into the pits on this caution.
That's sort of hard to figure out right there, you know, to give up that much track position at a racetrack this size as fast as Chad Chaffin's running. Sometimes they make stagger adjustments. Sometimes they think they might just have a couple bad tires. So he didn't look like he had a fat. It looked like he just changed tires.
Right sides for Charles Powell. Once again, they get 10 tires, including the 4 they start the race with, to work with today. So that will be a strategy in tire management that will play out throughout the day.
Mike, another thing that's unique about the pitting here, if I'm not mistaken, I think they allow them to use one air wrench. They've got 2 guys. If they throw the air wrench backwards and forwards, I need to watch at the next pit stop, and that's pretty tough to do and not lose a lap here. Oh, okay, then let's change it on me.
There's 2 or...
Bobby, don't ever say anything. Television will tell on you.
Well, it could be 1 and a spare.
Yeah.
Well, Matt will let us know. 1 to go. We'll go back to racing. Tomorrow, the All-American 400 here on TNN. NASCAR Slim Jim All-Pro Series race. And you were right. 1 air wrench and a spare.
Well, I was hoping they'd have changed. It'd have been better.
Looking for the restart and green flag. Paul Cummings pulling up on the inside. He's not going to get a lap back as Chad Chaffin and the 86 of Mike Reynolds haul him off down the back stretch.
Mike Chaffin just about give that spot up down the back straightaway. Didn't get clean off turn 2 and almost lost the lead spot there.
Riding with Jerry Coble.
Here comes Buford trying to make a move in, as you can see from the in-car camera here, just up in front of there. Buford's trying to take over second spot as they come off turn 2.
Buford is the yellow car, the 107, who sits in third. Joe Buford with a look underneath. Set trouble, turn 3. Around goes the 14 and 4 cars parallel park up there in the corner.
I tell you what, a lot of guys did some good driving through that, because the first thing you want to do, buddy, is hit the brakes when you see something like that, and a lot of them stayed in the throttle and got through there.
Jimmy Valentine, the red car. Valentine's number is February the 14th.
No, 14. He don't have February anywhere, but it is 14.
Doesn't have to. Right. Well, he will not get a greeting card from the number 48 of Mike Murray. Let's see what happened here. I think he went around by himself. I did not see contact start with another car.
Well, I know all these cars you see behind him there, they just jumped on the brakes, and of course, once you do that, it unloads on the right front tire and actually makes the back end light, and all the cars come around like that. But they were very lucky. Nobody really put themselves out of the race in that wreck.
And also, I noticed my race car made it through there. It made me feel good.
33 there was involved, Jimmy McLean. Also the 48 of Mike Murray and the 79 of Gilbert King. Now, Charles Powell was running third when he made a pit stop on the first caution. Matt, how come?
Well, as you can see, the tire's already deflated. The problem was the core and the valve stem came out, so they had an unscheduled pit stop that is going to drop them back in the field. Mike?
One of those breaks of racing, 25-cent valve stem core.
Boy, though, it holds up a lot more money than that, believe you me.
Yes, it does.
Anytime that thing comes out of there, of course, the tire goes flat, and you have to come in. You don't have a choice.
These late model stock cars are interesting machines. They look like the cars that you see at a lot of the short track speedways around the country, but Seems like every track has its own configuration and its own set of rules. Nashville Speedways are maybe like the ones at your home track, and then they may be a little bit different. Yesterday, we had a chance to take a closer look. A Nashville Speedway late model looks like an all-pro car, but under the skin, it much more resembles a Busch Grand National or Winston Cup machine. The bodies are all steel, and the frame is a square perimeter frame with a full roll cage. There's no offset. These cars run a Hoosier Economy bias-ply tire and must weigh 3,100 pounds with the driver with only 55% left side weight. Under the hood, 358 cubic inch V8 with a 350 Holley carburetor and up to 10-to-1 compression. They're fast racers. What are these cars worth, Bobby?
We got $40,000 in that car that Earnhardt's driving. That's what we were trying to sell it for, so they're worth at least that or maybe a little more. It costs a lot to build them.
So it's not an inexpensive class, but boy, they put on a good show here.
When they changed the carburetor rule, Mike, and tightened that horsepower up from the way it was last year, that really tightened the field up quite a bit. We had 4 or 5 rabbits that would run off with it, Chad Chaffin being one of them, and you can see now that it's tough for anybody to get away.
We're under caution, so we'll take a break from Nashville Speedway USA. 27 laps are complete of the COMDATA 200. We'll be right back. Immediately following today's telecast here from Nashville, you can stay tuned for Race Talk. Eli Gold comes up next, so don't go away. You're on TNN Motorsports. Big weekend of live racing. Here from Nashville, from California, and elsewhere. 1 to go, and we'll get a green once again. Let's show you again what happened this incident up in turn number 3. Let's see if we can see how it got started. Right under the billboard. Looks like there might have been contact there.
I think that car number is 26. I'm not real sure. Yeah, that's the one it was. Russell Winstead. It looks like he got into that car and turned it.
Everybody is able to rejoin the race except the 33. Sits up on jack stands. That's Jimmy McLean's car. Still being worked on pit road.
Mike, that looked like real contact there, but a lot of times you'll start in right against the wall and try to get down in what we call the preferred line, which is lower on the racetrack. And if a lap over or slower car is on the inside, first thing they do is touch you on the left rear, and it just turns you right around in the racetrack.
Jerry Coble lined up next to the leader is going to try to get back on the lead lap here. Here's Coble looking at the flag stand. And he's not going to make it.
You can hear a spotter saying, go, 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 but he didn't get gone. He's still sitting there. You see, he did not make up his lap there.
You're clear for Beaver. You're clear.
So Chaffin, the leader. In second is Reynolds. Third, the yellow car there is Joe Buford.
Whoa, he's sideways, coming up out of the corner there. He got it right back, and he's trying to go in the second spot on the outside.
Buford losing a little time up there in the high groove. Andy Kirby's going to come into this picture in a moment. The 4th place car. There's Kirby.
That'll be pretty tough to pass Reynolds on the outside, Bobby. I believe the way he goes off in the corner, I believe I'd try him on the bottom or not at all.
Yeah, well, I think the way he carries one off in the corner, that is so hard. About the only chance you have is to get him going there a little deeper, maybe make him wash up and get up under him.
Reynolds finished second in points this season, and that black number 86 that sits in second place. He has 15 wins here at Nashville, 13th on the all-time list, and 3rd among active drivers.
See Buford there trying on the bottom side on Reynolds. Looks like he has that preferred line right now. He's shoving and gouging right now. But I tell you what, Reynolds is fighting back hard on the outside as they go into turn 3.
Buford is going to get him, and Reynolds tries to dive under to retake the spot. Can't do it. Joe Buford, the track's 2nd winningest active driver, moves up into 2nd place behind the winningest active driver, Chad Chaffin. So 1, 2, 3. You have the drivers who have won the most feature events here career-wise among those still racing here at Nashville.
That A.W. Kirby there in the 10 car is just kind of shadowing the front bunch right now, but he is really running very well. And he is the points leader, I think, here at this particular speedway.
Buddy, that's true, and his car is always good on long runs. They've really worked hard on their chassis. They bought a car from a guy in Birmingham named Bobby Ray Jones, and he has built a lot of successful race cars here. And there is not that many here that run anymore, but that car always works real good on long runs.
Joe Buford has now moved up into the second spot and begins to chase down Chad Chaffin. He's won a bunch this season, but he's crashed a bunch. What kind of season has it been?
Just like I said, we just been plagued with bad luck this year. We just hadn't had a, successful season. Either we won or we had a DNF.
Joe Buford sitting now in second place. And Andy Kirby, you can see, has caught the 86 of Mike Reynolds.
I think Reynolds is holding him up just a little bit. I think Reynolds' chassis has gone away just a little bit. You can see Buford just a while ago really trying hard to get by Reynolds. Couldn't make the pass. Once he got by, he's almost a full turn ahead of him now. So I'm sure A.W. Kirby's just waiting for a good time to go.
Got Greg going to turn one. One car piled hard into the wall. You see the 23 there. That's Rodney Edwards.
I tell you, it looked like somebody turned one car out, or maybe he cut up on another, and that thing hit hard. He just turned right.
Third caution of the day, lap 39. The car closest to us is the 23, the 87 of Wade Allen Buttry. Looks like when you see a wheel mark on the right side of that car, and he got turned and went in left side first. So it is Buttry and Edwards.
That's a bad deal for Wade, Mike. That's a brand new race car that they just got done. They were here testing it about 3 weeks ago, and it looks like it hurt it pretty bad.
And it looks like Edwards may climb out as well. So the hits keep coming here at Nashville. Third caution of the day. We'll be right back. Highway transportation for TNN provided by Cedar Ridge RV Center, Branchville, New Jersey, featuring Winnebago. Call 1-800-988-4884 to see why Winnebago and Cedar Ridge is the choice of champions. Chad Chaffin started on the pole. He's the defending champion of this race and has led every lap so far. We're under the third caution of the day. And let's find out how Chaffin's running and what his strategy might be from here on out, Matt.
Well, Mike, Chad Chaffin is complaining of a little bit of a loose condition in the middle of the corner. Their problem is they can't decide on when they want to pit to correct the problem because of all the cautions we've had so far. They want to get in about 25 to 30 laps of straight green flag racing. They had originally wanted to go to the halfway and make this race a two-segment event, but now it looks like that they're scratching their heads trying to figure out what to do now.
We had a chance to talk to a number of these young drivers about the fact that so many Winston Cup and Busch Grand National stars have come out of this speedway. Drivers that have won here include the Allisons, Red Farmer, Butch Lindley, Harry Gant, Donnie Allison, Rusty Wallace, Dale Earnhardt, Neil Bonnet. They've all won races here.
Here in Nashville, it's big enough. It's small enough that you have to do your short track racing, but it's big enough that you can adapt to Rockingham and maybe Atlanta and some of these other tracks a little quicker. Richmond, because the track is so large.
It's a fast track. It's a 5/8. It's high bank. It's got an uphill, a downhill. It's rough. It's and like you said, there's been a good bunch of people come from this track, and competitive. It's just outstanding.
Well, now, what is this guy? The 1980, 86, 87, 87, 88 champion?
I don't remember.
I'll look it up.
87,
88. What don't they know about how this racetrack relates to Winston Cup racing that you do?
It's like we was talking earlier. I mean, the way you get off the corners here, in the middle of the corner, the speeds are so high here, is when you get used to that at this racetrack in a real fast race car, it feels absolutely no different than when you are at Rockingham or some of the other big racetracks.
And that's something these fellows hope to find out. Now, add to that list of drivers who've won here: Jeremy Mayfield, Marty Robbins, Dave Marcus, Jimmy Means, Benny Parsons, Jody Ridley, Harry Gant. Now, they've all won in the feature weekly division. There's another fellow to my right who's won here in Winston Cup, Buddy Baker.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
In a Hemi already.
Gosh. Just to wrestle at around
Kind of dates it up, don't it?
Just to wrestle at around this place is pretty special. Check out NASCAR online before, during, and after the race on the World Wide Web at NASCAR.com, your 24-hour NASCAR garage pass.
In a little while, I'm going to get Bobby to tell everybody out there in TV land about winning 6 events here in one day. We won't do that right now. Just stay with us. That's an interesting story.
79 coming back out, Gilbert King, as we get set for the restart. 43 laps complete. It appears from our view of the scoreboard here in bright sunshine at Nashville. It's been a great week of racing. The Mark Colley Celebrity Race for a diabetes cure Wednesday night. We'll tell you a little about that later. And a big one tomorrow. Let's get set for the green. Chad brings him around, and I thought Buford was going to make a run for the lead on the outside. He is. Here he comes. Joe Buford.
That's hero material when you start passing on the outside here. But I watched Chapin's car. He does not get off the corner good. And right now it's paying off for Joe Buford as he comes down the front straightaway.
Power move, Bobby, to take the lead going in there deep on the outside.
It was, Mike, and I tell you what, the motor's really running good in that 107 cars. It's funny that we got 2 Fords up front because, you know, there's been speculation that they're going to take some carburetor away from the Fords for next year. They're allowed to run a 450 CFM carburetor, where the Chevrolets have to run a 350 CFM.
But you see, as they get back under power good, it just seems that Buford's car really got forward bite up out of 2. Now it seems to be just as fast, Chapin does, as they go down the back straightaway.
Let's go to the pits.
Well, Mike, Joe Buford looked like he had a pretty good car. Well, he does, but Chad Chapin decided he didn't want to wreck his equipment so early in the race. His crew told him to let Buford go by and wait. We'll race this one in the second half.
That's what Chad told us yesterday. He would be patient, and it appears he is. Buford doesn't know what his plans are for next year as Andy Kirby battles for the 3rd spot with number 86, Mike Reynolds. Oh, Kirby took him way upstairs that time.
That's taking him around the back of the house to see the front again.
I tell you, Mike, I was noticing Chad, and I think Buddy was too a minute ago. He run his nose right up under Joe Buford's tail there and got him real loose in the middle of 3 and 4. Chad runs just enough of this Grand National races to know that you can take that air and upset a car.
Powell is on pit road once again. Charles Powell in 34, and he has a right front tire down. Tough break. Matt?
Well, Powell's crew goes to work on the right front. As we talked earlier, yes, you only allowed 1 pit gun over the wall. Bad run for Powell. He had a good car. He was really excited about this weekend. He thought he had a good chance for a win.
He'll lose 1 lap, maybe 2 on the pit stop and comes back out. Joe Buford, I was saying, has no definite plans for next year.
We have to find that straightaway, Mike. Number 36.
And that car is hard into the wall.
It's Mark Blaskam.
Who?
You can see under the very front of the car, you have a fire there, and now it's spreading around to the middle part of the car. He's saying, hey, it's getting hot in here. Help me just a little bit.
It's pretty quick work by the track crew to get over and across in an area where there are not normally many people stationed.
That was good work by the fireman there to go
Yes.
back and help him with the net there. That was his problem. He was trying to get the net down, and the buckle was on the outside of the window net.
I tell you what amazes me about these fire people, man. They just run right in there and attack it, get right in there with it. And that's, I don't know that I'd want to do that. I mean, it's a spooky business, and they just get right up there with it and deal with it, you know.
Let's show you what happened to Blasingame here.
Well, he's coming off of 2. He's already a little loose. He just loses it looks like, don't it?
He gets up in the loose stuff
Exactly
there and
right.
gets in the outside wall. You can see probably what he did right there, and he got against the wall and probably knocked the fittings off the fuel pump there, and that's where the fire comes from.
That's a good point, buddy. On these cars with these square tube and snouts, the fuel pump sits, I mean, 40 or 50 thousandths from. We have to notch them, and it's probably real close, and it gave enough just to knock the fuel pump off.
So we're at 52 laps, and we're under the 4th yellow of the day. As cleanup continues out on the back straightaway, we'll take a break from Nashville Speedway USA. And the leaders do not pit. Both Buford and Chapin stay out there. Tune in tomorrow for live coverage of the Mannheim Auctions All-American 400 right here on TNN Live. Buddy and I'll be here. Bobby will be here too, but he'll have his helmet on instead of a headset with us. Another great, exciting day of racing right here on TNN. And Ford Credit presents the Ford Dealers 300 tomorrow at 4:30 p.m. That will follow us immediately here on the Nashville Network. As I thought we were going to go green next time by. Charles Powell was back in for the same problem. A valve stem went down in the right front, which has brought him in, and a couple of possible causes for that.
Well, sometimes the sway bar arms hang down real low on these cars, as they do on a Winston Cup car. And if somebody works on that and maybe moves the arm in a different location, it'll rub the sidewall of the tire enough and make it go flat. And then as he's driving that in, it'll break the tire down off the wheel and actually knock the valve stem out. So they might need to look at that.
Well, they were double checking them over, the rest of the tires that were in that pit. And hope they've got that problem cured.
You know, Mike, I'm just looking at Casey Atwood. He's running in 5th place. He's in the 43 lookalike there, as you see him coming down the front straightaway. This boy is 16 years old, and he's out here with the seasoned runners out here and doing a great job. And the reason he's doing a great job is he's not getting your attention, and he's running in 5th place. Anytime you can do that, you're doing very smooth out there. You're not getting yourself in trouble. I'm impressed with Casey.
He races like that a lot, buddy. He's very heads up. He knows that you got to have the equipment at the end of the race. We really enjoyed working with him this year. He's a blast. And the thing about it is he wants it. He wants it bad. And to be a 16-year-old, he's real easy on equipment. That's what it's about.
Started out in go-karts 5 years ago, won 3 state championships and 2 world karting championships. Qualified for the truck race back here in August. Let's show you what the in-car camera in Jerry Cobal's car saw.
You're in turn 1. You can see him coming up out of the corner. You see the car darting to the outside. He takes the inside. You see the flash fire underneath the car that hit the wall there.
Looked from the first replay like he might have gotten a little loose, and as he counter-steered to correct, ended up in the marbles and couldn't get the car back.
I think that's exactly what it was.
That's exactly what happened. What happens on the good part of the racetrack, you get in trouble, and anytime you get out in the marbles there and you're sideways, you're not going to get it straight after that.
So 4 caution flags so far, and Joe Buford rises to the top of the heap, a familiar spot for him. He had 6 wins this year at Nashville Speedway, but finished back in 8th in the points. Runner-up in the points in 1994 with 5 victories. And he won the last 2 races here in Nashville, last 2 point races, both 125 lap affairs. He likes the longer races.
I want to tell you something about him. If anybody's got a race car and they don't think somebody's driving him hard, if they think anything's left in the race car, you put Joe Buford in it. Whatever that thing runs with him in it, that's as fast as it'll run. And he's not conservative right now. He is running that thing just as hard as it'll go.
Well, as I started to say, and Twyson got interrupted by cautions, his plans are indefinite for next year. He's looking for a sponsor. He would like to move up. He says, well, let's see what happens. But he knows, as fellas like Ron Hornaday and Steve Park have found, that being on national TV is a pretty good way to audition.
Oh, it is that. And you just mentioned 2 great race car drivers. It's just a matter of time until they're right up there in Winston Cup and doing a good job.
So now Powell, who lost at least 1 lap on the pit stop, will have to try to get a lap back from the leader. There's our in-car. Jerry Coble has parked it for the day. Powell is 2 laps down. And there's Coble's machine about to be pushed back to the garage area. The COMDATA entry. Having a short day here in Nashville. All right, let's get set for the restart here. Lap, I believe we're at 57.
Buford's going to have to get a good jump here because underneath him is Powell, who's lost a couple of laps now because of tire problems, but he would love to get one of those laps back as they come off turn 2.
Powell has a fresh right front. See if he's any match for Buford here. And Andy Kirby comes up hunting 2nd spot from Chad Chaffin. Well, Powell is going to give Buford a little breathing room, but he's not going to let him breathe too much.
No, all he's got to do is flip just a little bit, Mike, in the corner, and Powell will be right up under him. As you can see, he is washing out just a little bit coming off turn 4. Bobby, as the racetrack's pretty smooth there, you can see the cars going down in the corner. They seem to be rebounding quite a bit. It's still just a little bit bumpy out there. I know the new pavements help the bunch.
Entering the corner, buddy, where the leader is going in right now, there's a little hump that unloads the car. He smooths from there on out. He comes off the corner right at turn 2, and there's a dip. The rest of it is real smooth. There was quite choppy when the low pace was here, but they smoothed all that up, so it's pretty smooth for a short track.
So Powell unable to get back on. Getting a lap back from the leader is now Buford starting to distance the field just a bit. Chaffin there in 93, the gold-colored car. He's got a mirror full of Andy Kirby.
Kirby's looked inside and outside 2 or 3 times now. I think Kirby may be a little bit quicker, but Chaffin was really taking care of that racing group.
Kirby in that number 10 with the red nose. Coors Light machine underneath Powell.
Now you see Charlie Powell moving to the outside there. He realizes he's not going to make his lap up. He's way back in the field now. He's giving these guys room to race.
And the front 4, including Mike Reynolds, have now gone past. Reynolds in the Sonic at block number 86. Good battle here in the middle of the pack. You see Dale Earnhardt Jr. in that number 3. Trying to move up and under along with the 11 of Michael Green. Meanwhile, up here in turn 2, Andy Kirby goes around the outside of Mike Reynolds.
Well, Reynolds was trying to move up. Kirby was ahead of him, and he got up under him, but you can see he just closed him right on back down because he got a better drive down the straightaway.
So Andy Kirby, AJ they call him, in the number 10, moves on up to 3rd place.
I tell you one thing strong about Andy Kirby is right in the middle of the corner. His car is super strong, and I think that gets his momentum to pull up off the road.
Whoa, man, I'm telling you, that was a wreck. He just didn't hit anything then. The 81 car was all over that back straightaway. That was Todd Norris. He lost control coming off the corner, made a little contact with the car on the outside, almost wrecked.
They were 3 wide at that point, buddy, and that just wasn't going to work. I think Earnhardt Jr. was in the middle, and that 81 car was down to the bottom.
Let me tell you, that back straightaway is just wide enough to run a good Harley on. Much less 3 or 4 cars sideways.
Let's show you what happened here.
They make contact right there. You can see him wiggle. Now watch him turn back towards the outside traffic. That was a good car control going down the back straightaway.
There's grass back there, buddy, somewhere. I think he's in the grass.
Might have been. Well, he's trying to get back to the front up on the 52 of Dwayne Hudson.
That's one terrific thing about any racetrack. Short track racing is so good because you don't have to be leading the race to see good racing. There's good racing from start to back.
Hand in the air, number 52, Dwayne Hudson.
He just wanted to get on the bottom side. He didn't like it outside there with all the cars up under him.
Well, up under him is the 19 of Ryan Zek in a T-Bird. Oh, a little bump and run there. 84 on the bottom, Cecil Chung. Roughing up the number 81 of Todd Norris.
You know, that's aggravating on a short track, Mike and Bobby. You know, there's nowhere to really get out of the way because these fast cars are coming up behind you, and they're wanting the preferred line, and you're wanting to get out of the way, and the preferred line's around the bottom of the racetrack. So what do you do?
That's exactly right, buddy. The best thing to do most of the time is just keep running your own deal. The minute you slow down, it's like you get thrown into a hornet's nest, and it's no fun at all.
The lap past the 29 of Mike Freeman as we're back up with the leaders. In yellow, the 107 is Joe Buford.
Wow, look at this. It's tightening up in the front here. Buford's got a lot of company now. The Chaplin and AJ are really going at it there.
I'll tell you something good about Chad. He will run right there, and you'll think that he's just over with, and when the laps start winding down, when everybody's tires get old, he really starts coming on. Looks like he got a smoker in the 81 car.
Yeah, that may have been from some of that contact. And spin, that's the 05 of Tommy Clymer has come around to turn 4, and that'll put us under caution. 5th caution of the day, lap 73. Coming out of turn 4. The Springfield Plumbing entry.
He almost got going quick enough to roll out down.
And here's what happened. By himself.
I didn't think these things had enough motor to do that.
Oh, Bobby.
I didn't mean that in a bad way.
How
but
quickly we forget.
Yeah. I tell you a story. I come down here. The car that the camera car was my car, and I bought it to come down here and have fun. And I could not drive the car. I couldn't make any time. And I could put Casey Atwood in, and he'd run 3/10 quicker than me. And the reason being was because I felt like the motor was just dead in it. But it was a fast motor. I'd get in it, run 5th. He'd get in about win the race, so I sold it.
All right, we're under caution for the 5th time. We'll regrid the field and get back to green flag racing after this. Opryland is the official destination of NASCAR. For more information, call 615-889-6611 weekdays. Getting set for the restart here at Nashville Speedway. Up front in yellow is the Cone Oil 107 FM machine of Joe Buford. Right behind him, in second, Chad Chaffin, the pole sitter in the Amoco number 93. And then it's Andy Kirby and the Mapco Express Coors Light number 10. They're going to go green this time. 86, Mike Reynolds. He in 4th with the Sonic Drive-In entry.
I'm laughing, folks. I got to tell you, Earnhardt got a great start on the bottom. Had to go all the way down on the flat part of the racetrack. Made up for about 3 or 4 spots there. He's working his way back to the front after the early drop back to the last spot.
He's just outside the top 10. Leader Joe Buford is able to hold Charles Powell's number 34 at 2 laps down.
Well, Charlie will give it about a 5-lap run here to make sure that he can't get back in the lead lap. Once he establishes that, he'll let these guys go by and go back to racing again. The top 5 cars are running nose to tail.
To look on the bottom. Buford's not leaving him anything. Back in 5th, Casey Atwood in the 43. And not all that far back.
It seems like Casey just sort of wants to get back there in his own little deal there. Not around traffic or anything. We have a caution somewhere. Where's it at?
Must be some debris somewhere because I don't see a car in the wall.
It's that car down at the bottom of turn 1 and 2.
Okay.
That's the 91 of Chad Mullis. The Mullis Drilling Thunderbird. And so he brings out the 6th caution flag. Lap count stands at 81.
It's a big piece of debris.
Was that? I got a cameraman directly in front of me, folks. If I'm a little bit as far as spotting things in number 1 turn, Mike.
You're doing just fine, buddy. 6th caution of the day. Let's see. This will be a short caution with whether or not any of the leaders elect to pit. Kind of doubt it with just a simple 1-car spin that it would be a short caution. So Mullis comes to pit road for repairs. We're going to hold for 1 more lap of yellow. That'll give us a chance to take this break. We'll be right back to Nashville. The TNN Salute to Motorsports returns to Opryland June 25th through the 29th. Make your plans now and call 615-889-6611 weekdays for information. Tonight from Las Vegas, Professional Bull Rider World Finals at 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Don't miss it here on the Nashville Network. The leader, Chad Chaffin, chose to pit under this caution and take on left side tires. Matt?
Well, Mike, they're going to adjust the handling on Chad's car with a little bit of stagger. Bobby will be able to tell you a little bit more about that. But he says that once they get the changes done, which they did under caution while we were away, he says, you know what? I think this car can win the race.
So Chaffin will be at the tail end of the lead lap there when we go back to green, which will happen right now. Joe Buford brings him down, and this time Powell may get one of his laps back. Oh, Buford sticks it in there hard into turn 1. And
boy, he's strong
wow.
off turn 2. I tell you right now, he gets down that back straightaway as good as anybody here.
Bobby, I thought Powell had a lap back there.
I did too, but you know, that guy just gets off the corner so good. Also, you notice Chad Chaffin pitted, then the lap later, the 86 car, Mike Reynolds pitted. That was sort of odd that he pitted as fast as he was running because these tires generally go a long way.
Andy Kirby now second. Casey Atwood is the third place car, and unofficially Jeff Higdon tips in fourth. Fifth, the 99 of Lee Tissot. Sixth is Fred Wilson. Seventh, Dean Howard, and eighth, Dale Earnhardt Jr. Ninth would be David Littleton. And in the 10th spot, Joe Brantley.
You know, I'm curious about something. You know a lot about Casey Atwood. Tell me a little bit about him. He had to be racing before he had a driver's license. He's running third right there.
He started out in go-karts, buddy, and he come up through the ranks in go-karts, won some national championships and things like that. Bobby Jr., my kid, was racing four-cylinder division at Nashville Speedway, and his dad, Casey's dad, wanted to run him in four-cylinders. He's done four-cylinder with him for about a year and a half and moved him straight to late model and won several races at Nashville Speedway, and he come down here with him. So he's very, very heads up, and he knows what he wants in a race car.
A long way back, too, to this man, Chad Chaffin. He is 24th after that pit stop. A lot different than the 50-lap Saturday night features these drivers usually run. We asked Chad about his approach to these longer races.
Well, the trick is to just stay out of trouble, you know, and in the 50-lappers, we just go all out. In these races, there is some pacing and some strategy that comes into play. And we're just really looking at getting through the first 100 laps and then racing the second 100.
Well, they're about through the first 100. 92 laps complete. Back up front, Joe Buford, Andy Kirby.
Andy Kirby's closing the gap on the leader there, as you can see. He was about a straightaway behind. Now he's less than 5 car lengths as they come off turn 4.
There's a look at Atwood, who has Jeff Higdon right on him.
We was talking about Kirby a minute ago. I think Andy's fighting a little bit of a loose condition as Chad was. We see him hunting around. He'll run high for a lap and then run low for a lap.
Turn 2, a car has spun, and everybody's going to get by the spinning number 41.
That's Jason Oates.
So brings out caution again. Mark at the 7th caution flag at lap 93. Now, who will pit?
That's what I was thinking. I wonder if a handful of them will come this time.
Did Reynolds get rights or lefts, did you see?
He got rights.
He got rights. So rights for Reynolds at lap 83, lefts for Chad Chaffin at that same time. Charles Powell has been in twice and has gone laps down. One car darted into the end of pit road, but I believe that was the 41 of Oates, whose car just spun. Going to hold under yellow for a lap or two here while the track crew has a look at turn 2. Joe Buford has 16 career late model stock car wins here in Nashville, 11th on the all-time win list, number 2 among active drivers. Half of those wins came this season. Excuse me, 6 of those wins came this season. Andy Kirby right behind him, 2-time track champion, including 1996. Many of these cars will be off to Kingsport Speedway in Tennessee Saturday, October 26th for a 300-lap event. $10,000 to win up there.
Looks like we're going to go green the next lap.
I bet Buford's saying, oh my, here comes Powell again. I have to do this thing all over again. They have been racing on every restart.
he keeps gouging at him. He don't let up, but that's what you got to do, buddy. I mean, how many times have you been in that situation?
If the leader slipped one time, you get back in the lead lap, a caution comes out, you're right back in the ball game.
Every now and then, too, you know, a caution will fly, and the leader will, the spotter will holler caution, and the leader will crack it just long enough for you to get back by, so you just can't give up on anything.
Got to keep trying. He can do that twice. He's back on the lead lap and right in this race. 96 laps complete, closing on halfway. Buford, the Cone Oil 107 is the leader. Here's a look at the top 10. Andy Kirby, Casey Atwood, Higdon and Tissot, the top 5. Then Wilson, Howard, Earnhardt, Littleton, and Brantley, the top 10. Let's get ready to restart here. Green flag. Boy, Powell is right there. Again, Kirby just drives hard into the corner, and he's going to be gone. Midpoint the backstretch, and he is.
Man, that car gets right off.
Yeah.
Well, you know why. He's taking the wider line through the corner before he actually gets the speed built up, but he has a better run down the back straightaway because he is total off turn 4. Oh!
And about 9 cars are stacked up in it.
Mike, that's a perfect reason why pitting too early can hurt you and losing all that track position. The 86 and the 93 of Reynolds and Chaffin both are involved in it.
Todd Cray is in there. There goes the 84 and the 95.
They have the red flag out, Mike, as they come around here. The track is actually blocked, so all the cars will stop down in the corner, point the nose down, and keep the fuel from running out of the cars. And you also point them downhill in case they won't crank, so you can mash the clutch in, coast down, and they'll refire.
Now you saw Chaffin. There's the 01 of Craig Wilson.
You have Andy Houston in there too.
Yeah, Andy Houston's in it.
Mike Green, 11 car.
And right behind Chaffin is Mike Reynolds in the 86. Let's see how this got started.
Oh, looks like the 55 car hit the 01 car of Craig Wilson, just punted him a little bit, and then it just clogged the racetrack up. It gets pretty narrow right there too, don't it, buddy?
Yeah, you could see Dale Earnhardt Jr. He was just behind the two that made a little bit of contact there, was able to get through there. He is very lucky.
Well, Reynolds is able to drive away. As here's another look at it. The track looks very wide, but when 1 or 2 cars get sideways there, where are you going to go? Reynolds was the last car in on the extreme left side of your screen, the last car to pile in, and he has been able to drive away. But we are under the red flag.
Mike, it looks like the 93 really hit hard. The right front wheel just drove back a ton on that thing.
It looks as though everybody is okay. There's Chad Chaffin, the pole sitter, who is not going to win. Look, he's not going to win his second straight 200 here.
The right front's in the glove box on that one. I'll tell you, it's back there.
It looks like the wheels are running in line on the 86 car. It might just have sheet metal problems. It don't look like anything's leaking.
He locked the brake down, Bobby, and just got into the back of Chad Chaffin after Chaffin had gotten up into the wall. As I say, he was the last car to come in and make contact there.
That could have been almost instant replay of the deal we had with Earnhardt in practice the other day.
Let's go down to Matt.
Chad, looked like he had the car to win the race, but obviously some trouble. What happened from your point of view?
Well, the number 1 car, he spun out, and I saw it. You know, I saw it was happening, and the spotters told me, but it was just so many cars, and when he was sideways there on the straightaway, that everybody just started backing off, and it just wasn't nowhere to go. We got hit in the back, got into a guy, and then ended up on the bottom of this pile up here. But yeah, we had a good car. We had a shot to win this race, and our strategy was we was going to come on in early, get the tires, and opt for track position when everybody else pitted. And I think it's going to be a good strategy, but obviously with the wreck, it wasn't very good. I'd much rather been up front.
Well, he had a car to win. He was hoping to defend that title today, guys.
Had a good chance to do it and had what might have been a winning strategy, but for the things that happened toward the back of the pack.
Mike, it's great strategy if something like this doesn't happen, but so many times on short tracks you have things happen when you're back in the back of the field. So the place to really be is up front.
See a bit of speedy dry used up. There's Todd Craze, number 21. And it's pretty used up. And trying to unhook the hood to find a place to hook the wrecker onto the nose of that car. Now, under the red flag, no work can be done on Mike Reynolds' car, but he did manage to get it to his pit stall so they can have a good look and see what they'll need to do.
One thing they're doing right now, they're talking back and forth between the crew chief. You can see him there where the tire is there at the front of the car. He's talking to the driver. They're discussing what they're going to do and all the problems they have with the car.
11 being towed off. Michael Green out of the race. Now this car is up on top of another, so while they hook it up, we'll take a break and be right back to Nashville Speedway after this.
Brought to you by Gladiator and Universal Luxury Vans, the official vans of tracks, teams, and drivers throughout the NASCAR world. Call 1-800-445-2825 for a dealer near you.
Expanding faster than the Craftsman Truck Series, NASCAR Thunder, the new official store of NASCAR in Atlanta, Winston-Salem, and on the way to Knoxville and Dallas, and maybe near you next year. So stop in and check it out. Let's get down to the middle of all that. And Matt.
Well, Mike, we've caught up with Andy Houston. Andy, I guess if there's someone who has a positive on this deal, it's you. Not too much damage to your car.
Yeah, car's not hurt. Got a flat left rear tire, but just come around there, and they went to hollering on the radio, you know, that slow up, slow up. Whole track was blocked, and somebody got me from behind. We all piled in there on it. But like I say, we're going to get it down. We're going to get a left rear tire put on, or probably change all 4 tires here under this break and get back out there. Still on the lead lap for now.
Well, he was running about 20th. This is kind of a good break for them because they were kind of going to wait till halfway to try to make some adjustments to hopefully move that car up to the front.
Now there's the 93. That is Chaffin's car, which is out of the show. You saw Andy just putting his helmet back on so he can climb on. They've got his car up in the air right now, trying to get it off of Chad Chaffin's and the rest of the pile, so Andy will get back in the race. The cars involved, the 11 of Michael Green has already been taken to the garage area. The 84 of Cecil Chun, that's the second one for Chun this week. 95, Ricky Bolin, the track record holder. 05, Tommy Clymer, you saw a minute ago on pit road. 86, Mike Reynolds has come to the pits. 01, that silver car a second ago was Craig Wilson. The 5 of Andy Houston, the 93, Chad Chaffin, the 21 of Todd Cray. And the accident appeared to have been triggered when 55 Dean Howard got into the 01 of Craig Wilson, turning Wilson around in front of the field. Everybody else is sitting up there in turns 3 and 4, getting ready to restart. As Bobby and Buddy explained, they park up on the hill so they can roll down and bump the car in case the starter won't turn it over.
All you have to do is put it in like second or third gear and just let the clutch out, let it roll a little bit with the clutch in, then pop the clutch out and then crank right up.
Okay, 6 wins in one day. How do you do that at one racetrack?
Pretty easy at that time, believe it or not. I don't forget. Let's see. We had 3 cars here, and they had a dirt type race on the middle track here. We won that race. We won the heat race, broke the track record, and won the feature and limited sportsman on the little track after that race. And then we won 2 features. We won a feature, a heat race, and broke the track record in late models. And then we left here with 1 car and went to Highland Rim, started in the back in a 100-lapper and won that race. So
were you the king of the world after that?
Well, they named him Mr. Versatility. Is what they named him. But after that night, I never tried it anymore because it was a lot of work. But we had a lot of help. Actually, I drove for the guy that owns the 86 car back then, and that is a great race team right there, and we won a lot of races with that guy.
Well, there's Chad Chaffin's car going off, and there is the 01, the first car to spin around in front of the field there, Craig Wilson. The Scoggin Enterprises entry going up on the hook, and the 29, the Pioneer Outdoors Chevrolet for Mike Freeman. Let's add him to the list. Here's another look.
Craig Wilson rented that car, or borrowed that car. I'm not sure how you would state that. From Mark Day and his bunch for today's action prepared, I'm going to assume that looks like Mark.
And everybody turns around. Right about there.
Wow. I tell you what, replays are amazing things. You could tell that there was very, very close running between the kid that actually started the wreck and Earnhardt as they come off that corner. From our angle, we really couldn't tell what happened, but they were very close to making contact there.
So under the red flag, the red cars continue to be hauled off, and we'll be back to Nashville after this. Tomorrow at 11 a.m. and again at 12:30 a.m. Eastern Time, right here on TNN Motorsports, NHRA Today. Steve Emmons fills you in on all the latest drag racing news. Well, they fired the engines, and Dale Earnhardt Jr., instead of coming around with the field, came straight down pit road. And work is completed on Reynolds, number 86. He gets back in the lineup. Let's see what happens. So also Andy Houston, as he said, he would be in to get his car repaired.
Anybody that's watching this pit stop, you could see the 3 car coming down very, very slow. He couldn't come by the start-finishing line ahead of the pit car, so he come in very slow there. You see him taking on right side tires. This is a smart move if everybody else comes in on the next lap.
I'll tell you what's good about it, buddy. Some of the cars were lined up past the opening of pit road. If they wanted to come in, they couldn't, and he jumped right on down there, so he took advantage of a pretty good situation.
Heads up move. They're going to try to get Todd Frey's car repaired. And back into this race, he is not elected to put on tires. They're just repairing crash damage on the number 21 and the 55 working there too. Here's a full field rundown for you as we are just shy of halfway. Pushing Earnhardt Jr. to get him rolling back out in the race. And that number 3, a Ford Thunderbird.
Look at the nose of that 86. They got it beat back down. The car looked like it had been in a wreck.
Kind of one nice thing about metal bodywork, I guess if that was fiberglass, you wouldn't be able to do that. You'd just be picking up pieces.
You're exactly correct. Any aluminum parts that you can beat out straight like that, it's real important to be able to. With fiberglass, it breaks. With this, you can beat it back down and hold it in position.
Another thing, buddy, these bodies have, are ARP bodies, and they got a rubber nose on them. If they get caved in, they'll just belch right back out if you tap them.
Speaking of belching right back out again.
Whoa.
Yeah.
It won't fix that. You might can fix the front end, but if it's running hot like that, you have a severe problem.
Russell Winstead's team going to add a little antifreeze.
Need a bigger jug than that.
Or excuse me, that's Joe Brantley, 28. Put a little screen over the grill. Andy Houston comes back in for another look at his car, and also Mike Reynolds is back on pit road. We'll be right back to Nashville after this. Tomorrow at noon Eastern and again at 11 p.m. A special time for race day. Rick Benjamin will fill you in on all the latest racing news tomorrow on TNN Motorsports. Doesn't get any closer. Race day twice tomorrow. 55 Dean Howard. They are getting repairs and coming back out. Also coming back out is Mike Reynolds. Looking around a minute ago, faces in the crowd. Rodney Combs is here. His son tried to qualify for the Slim Jim All-Pro race that will run here tomorrow. So saw Rodney, gave us a wave from the grandstand just below our camera here.
Well, his son was doing quite well and spun over, coming off turn 2 over there and kind of wrecked his car up a little bit and was unable to make the show, but he was running good enough had he not had that accident.
Well, we're just past the halfway mark, and not that many of the leaders have come in for tires. And those that did earlier paid the price.
That's what I was just sitting here thinking about Dale Jr. coming in by himself like that. But he didn't lose as much track position as they did, so I don't know if some of these other guys in the back markers come in at that time, too.
I think some, if not all of them, did or were involved in the incident.
Yeah.
And they had to make a little lengthier repair on pit road. We'll go green this time. Once again, Joe Buford. And the Cone Oil 107 FM machine is your leader. Andy Kirby, Coors Light 42, and the STP 43 of 16-year-old Casey Atwood. Right behind them, moving up to 4th place, David Littleton in the number 4. And we're back under green, just past halfway, lap 104.
Well, A.J. Kirby finally got a good run on Buford going around. You can see him closing up right up on his back bumper as they head down the front straightaway. That is the first time they had a lap over car up under him. They started off into turn 1.
Bobby, can they keep these same tires on and get 200 laps out of them?
I've seen them run 150 laps, no problem, and they've repaved the lower groove since then, so they could probably go the whole time. He's working on him, buddy.
Yeah, he's working on him. He's looking on the inside there. Buford's running a little bit higher line than AJ is as they start off turn 2 there. You can see he's running a different racetrack. Just behind him, the white guy, Casey Atwood, 16 years old and doing a great job.
Atwood closing in. Andy Kirby, 2-time and just crowned track champion for 96. Right there with 8 wins this season. We asked Andy Kirby what makes Nashville Speedway such a good breeding ground for future NASCAR stars.
It's our second track championship this year, and hasn't been nobody from Nashville lately to go anyplace. So maybe it's time for that to turn around again. But yeah, it's a fast track and it's competitive, and if you can race here, people say you can race anywhere.
I'd say Sterling Marlin won the Daytona 500. Darrell Waltrip National Championship also won at Daytona. This place has got some people that's moved up, and our little colleague up in the booth today.
I'm getting
doing
close,
pretty
buddy.
good, boy.
I'm getting
doing
close.
pretty good.
Got a great car on you.
Andy Kirby wants the lead.
Sitting here looking at Casey's car, guys, and I mean, these other guys are up there, and I know they're driving a little harder, but they're just wagging their tails, and I haven't seen the 43 car slip a wheel yet, and it just makes me wonder if he's got anything or not.
He's smooth.
Yeah, he's real smooth.
Oh, Buford wiggles there in the lead. Car started to get out from under him coming out of turn 4.
Oh, we got trouble up in turn 3.
Oh,
cars up on top of each other. One rolls over, as you see there.
That's 76 on its roof. Robert Powell. 05 is in it, Tommy Clymer, and 55 again. That's Dean Howard.
I think Mike Reynolds is in it, too.
That is Mike, who's just climbed out there.
Sure is.
Of the Sonic 86. That was a wild one going into turn 3. That's Reynolds. He is okay.
Do we have fire over there, or is it just smoke?
Let's hope it's just smoke and steam. That's as wild a crash as I've seen here at Nashville Speedway as they're helping Clymer out of his car. There's the initial contact.
You can see the speed was coming into turn 3 there. One car climbed directly up on top of the Reynolds car.
That'll be the 76 of Robert Powell, up and over, and he's going to go over on his roof. For a couple of hard hits. Now there's Powell. He is okay. Mike Reynolds has walked away. Clymer has been helped out of his car, and the other driver involved, Dean Howard.
I'm telling you, that.
And Howard is still sitting in his car.
Mike, it completely took the sheet metal off the top part of the Reynolds car there. The 86 that you're looking at, there's absolutely no sheet metal over the roof of that car.
But look at the roll bars, buddy. Nothing
Perfect.
gave, and
Yep.
that shows the kind of tech, these people pull and everything on these cars to make them that safe. They took a pretty mean tumble there.
Yeah, the integrity of the roll cage was not compromised at all when Powell went up and over that car, up and over Reynolds. What a frightening sight to see out your window net. One onrushing stock car coming up and over, but all the drivers are okay. That's the best thing about that crash. It does produce our 3rd red flag of the day.
No, that 86 car is built by Townsend Race Cars over in Virginia there, right up by Richmond Raceway, and I think the 76 car is built there too. They're real safe race cars.
And Ricky Dennis is here this weekend working with the All-Pro program from Townsend. And
they have pretty stuff. It's not too pretty right now, but it was before that.
Oh, it's still pretty. The part they build, the sheet metal don't look well, but the roll cage and all is very good.
What was pretty about it to see them guys run away from it.
Yep. Now, Dean Howard stayed in his car. He has hopes of getting the Bradley's Paving Chevrolet back in this race.
I wonder what they're doing with Dale Jr. sitting on the front straightaway. He wasn't involved in that, was he?
It may have been just a matter of where he came around and got stopped. I'm not sure about it. crews are also having a look at the 26 of Russell Winston. Well, Mike Reynolds had a strong car and a chance to win this until the roof got taken off it in that flip. Matt is with him.
Well, Mike, first off, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine, you know. Well, since we made that pit stop, we run up front there, and then we come in, gonna get some tires early, change the pit strategy some. Just didn't work out for the Sonic Chevrolet today. Man, I think they're trying to have car sex or something with me over there, but well, it's a rough deal, you know. Guy on top of me, just racing, I guess.
What happened?
Well, I don't know. I might have run the 05 car out of racetrack. I really don't know. He tagged me in the left quarter there and turned me sideways. We hit the wall a ton. Next thing I know, this other car's on top of us. But it's a bad way to get on TV, you know. We had a good race car, the Sonic Chevrolet. You know, it was a contender. We was just a little bit off at the start of the race, but we come in, put some tires on it, changed the stacker a little bit, and the car was quick. We just couldn't beat that traffic, you know. We got tied up in that first wreck. The crew did a great job of getting the car back going, and then we come through this deal. So I don't know, just a bad day for Sonic Chevrolet.
Well, they thought they had a car that could win the race, but this is the second person today that pitted early and has now paid the price.
Tough break for Reynolds being out of the show. There was, as Bobby pointed out, a brief carburetor fire there from Reynolds' car as Powell went up and over top of it. Quickly extinguished on its own. And the track crew is going to have some busy work here trying to figure out how to get these cars separated. We'll be right back to Nashville Speedway on TNN after this. Big weekend of racing this and next weekend on the Nashville Network. From Rockingham, North Carolina, next Saturday, you'll see the AC Delco 200 for the Busch Grand National cars at 2 p.m. Eastern, and the Winston Cup AC Delco 400 at 12:30 Eastern Time next week. Once this race telecast concludes, we'll be going to Race Talk with Eli Gold. That comes up next, and we may be joining that in progress, depending on how long this race takes to get over here, as we're under our, third red flag of the day.
They're getting them up on the rollbacks now, Mike. I think we're running along pretty good. I thought it'd be a problem getting them unhung over there, but they must have hit hard enough that they come unhung on their own.
That 05 Tommy Kleiner, I'm telling Clymer, that car was really torn up. You could tell that it sheared all the left side sheet metal off of it. It took a tremendous hit.
I'm correct. It's the second red flag. 9th caution of the day. Now there's Clymer's car. And that has really laid it open. You see the full roll cage and the perimeter frame on these cars, in contrast with the Slim Jim All-Pro cars we'll see tomorrow, which run a straight rail frame. And there you get a look at the right side, where again the perimeter frame means the frame extends all the way out on both sides of the car, pretty much out even with the center line of the wheels. And you have that big 4-bar roll cage structure that's synonymous with NASCAR race cars. Gosh, way back through the early 1960s when roll cages first came to being. That's what they look like, and it's a good thing. They do their job.
That car barely stopped when Robert Powell come out of it. I'll tell you one thing, when you get upside down, you can come out of something that's an inch high. It's unreal what you can do when you need to get out.
The first thing they think about, too, buddy, when it happens is fuel. And if you notice, the ground was dry. That fuel cell did a perfect job in that car. They have check balls in them, and that thing slammed shut, and I didn't see a drop of gas up under it.
The check ball is a device at the top of the fuel cell itself that allows you to fuel gas into the cell through the filler. But if the car gets upside down, the ball in that ball check valve comes down shut, like on this one, and prevents the fuel from coming back down the fill pipe.
This is a metal outside part where the bladder itself, the tank itself is a rubber tank, so it will take a tremendous shot also and kind of crumble up without tearing like a metal tank would. So the whole thing worked. You can tell that.
The red box that you saw is the case for that fuel cell bladder. Well, this is not pretty, but the most important thing is it is safe. And this is as safe as we know how to build race cars to withstand the rigors of high-speed racing and, unfortunately, sometimes high-speed, high-impact crashes like this. But we want to emphasize all 4 drivers walked away. So under the second red flag of the day, we'll take a break from Nashville Raceway and come right back and hopefully be able to get this thing restarted. Stay with us. Cleanup continues here at Nashville Speedway USA. Mike Joy with Buddy Baker and Winston Cup star Bobby Hamilton at a track where he won 2 championships, and where Tuesday, Wednesday night here we had a lot of fun to raise money for the Mark Colley Celebrity Race for Diabetes Cure, sponsored by the Eli Lilly Company. Festivities kicked off Tuesday night at the Wild Horse Saloon in Nashville with a celebrity auction and concert.
I got 1,000, not 1,200.
Buddy Baker helped Leroy Van Dyke auction off this painting and other items that raised over $80,000 during the auction part of the festivities. Katie Haas up there as well. Yes, that's Sterling Marlin singing, folks. And playing the tambourine with Mark Colley and the Nelson twins. Now, Gunnar Nelson didn't have such a good night on Wednesday when there is his car parked as Mark Colley piles in. But oh, isn't this the way it should be at every Winston Cup race?
Look like
crash, get out pictures.
Like Earnhardt and Hamilton after the race in Rockingham in the spring.
Looked like a lot of folks we know. Last lap, and the winner is Ronnie Dunn. He avenges last year's defeat. That's Kix Brooks, last year's winner on the left. Ronnie Dunn, the victor, and Aaron Tippin. There's Aaron with a hand on the, or didn't Mark Colley with a hand on the trophy, and Aaron kind of right there behind Mark. And Aaron had the drive of the night to finish third. He really would stick that car in the corner. But most importantly, a lot of money was raised to help cure diabetes. And, Buddy, we had a lot of fun.
I had a great time. This is my 3rd year to work with Mark Colley on this for the Diabetes Foundation. I tell you what, if we can find a cure for it, it's worth all the time that everybody puts into putting on this event.
There will be a 4th annual event, we're already told, and you can see a special presentation of the auction, the concert, and probably the most fun we've ever had calling a race. It'll be on TNN October 23rd. You'll see it here on the Nashville Network, and hope you get a look at it. We had a lot of fun for a great, great cause.
A lot of stage right up there.
Yeah, just a bit, as I think they've got every car removed now, and it's just the sweeping up that's going to busy the track crew for the next couple of minutes, and then we can get back to racing. Here's a look at your top 10. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Nashville, where tomorrow, live, we'll have the Mannheim Auctions All-American 400 NASCAR Slim Jim All-Pro Series race. That'll be live at 4:30 p.m. You'll see the Ford Credit presents the Ford Dealers 300 NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race from out in California. So big live doubleheader for you tomorrow here on TNN. Let's get down to Matt Yoakum.
Hey, we've caught up with Tommy Clymer. You spent a little bit of time in the ambulance. Are you okay, Tommy?
Yeah, a little sore right now. Nick took a pretty good lick up there. Really don't know exactly what I have. I know the 86 car tried to make it 3 wide going into 3, and there just wasn't enough room there for him. And I thought me and him had it made there for a while, and they just started piling in on top of us. I tell you, I hate it for the Champion Auto Paint and Body, Springfield Plumbing, PPG, Monte Carlo. Been struggling all year, and we finally got a top 15 qualifying effort, running the top 10 all day long. We hit some oil and spun, and we got lucky and didn't take ourselves out then. And I tell you, I just hate it for all the crew. We worked hard, but we'll be back.
A disappointed Tommy Clymer as they'd hoped for a good run today.
I think Clymer can fix that car with that many sponsors, I'll tell you that.
Maybe not today, but certainly in time for the last race of the season here in November.
Here comes the leader down into the pits.
And so finally, Joe Buford is going to make his appearance on pit road. Lap 112 for Buford.
I noticed Casey thought about coming in, and then they sent him back out. I think that was a little move.
You know, you're looking right now as Buford comes down in the pit road and all. I think it's the time to come in right now for him. Of course, I would have probably stayed out a lap or 2 more and make sure I didn't run over any metal or anything that might be up in that corner. Even though they have swept it, every once in a while you get a little squiggle of metal or something left in the racetrack.
Good point. Right behind him, that's Billy James, also on pit road. And Andy Kirby will pick up the lead.
I know a lot of these helpers help these local guys with no charge or whatever, but they work their tails off in the pits. I was watching that one air wrench deal right then, and it's amazing they can pull off a pit stop as quick as they do with one air wrench.
Incredible time that they make, you know, running it with that thing and giving it to, like they change the right front and then run back to the right rear and give it to the right rear tire changer. But you know something I'm looking at? Dale Earnhardt Jr. is all the way back up to 3rd place, and he's already made his pit stop, so he might be on his way to a very, very good day today.
Earnhardt picked up right side tires at lap 99. 1 caution to go.
Is that an Earnhardt in a Ford?
Yes, it is.
I wasn't going to say that.
Well, I had to. I just looked.
My understanding is that he did call back to North Carolina and ask permission, and that his father said...
he said, son, you're a racer. Go race.
Do what you have to do.
If they'll loan you a car, go run it.
He's done a good job with it, buddy.
Really has. He's been smooth all day. He made a good pit stop a while ago, and he's right there. I mean, when these lead cars make your stop, he's going to be the man.
Let's check with Matt.
Well, guys, you're talking about Dale Jr. stopping on pit road. The reason he's having clutch trouble, and he was afraid if he stopped in the racetrack, he wouldn't be able to get started again. So there could be trouble on the 3 car. Also, the leader, Buford, they had an extended stay on pit road. Of course, when you throw the gun to the next guy up who's changing the other tire, sometimes you have a problem. Well, the lug socket came off, so he had an extended stop.
Bobby, the problem they're having right now on Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s car is a clutch problem, but once he gets in high gear and he's already made the stop, he's in pretty good shape.
Yeah, that's true, buddy. And also, we run the big bore Warner transmission like we run in the Cup cars, and you've been in that situation. When the clutch is out, if you just let off the gas, it'll pretty well fall in high gear. It's a little slower, and you have to watch the guy behind you, but he ought to be okay on restarts.
So it looks like they picked up the last of the debris and swept up as much as could be done. And we're about set to go back to racing. 115 of 200 laps is complete. We'll go 400 here tomorrow for the Slim Jim All-Pro car, so if you can join us then. And let's get set for this restart. We'll be back in a moment with more of the COMDATA 200 from Nashville Speedway. Tonight at 10 p.m. Eastern, the Las Vegas Professional Bull Rider World Finals. Don't miss it. Here's the restart. Andy Kirby leads Casey Atwood and Dale Earnhardt Jr. down to turn 1. And there's Powell, still trying to get a lap back.
Now you see the first 2 cars get a big jump on Earnhardt, who's running 3rd there in the number 3 car. As he goes down in the corner, the first 2 got way away from him. That's because he started this race in high gear. He's not using that shifting method. I think when they drop the green flag, he's already in high gear. You can see him going in the corner. He lost about a half a turn on everybody, but he'll make it up the way he's getting through the corner.
He's in 3rd place, unofficially 4th Dwayne Hudson in 52, and then the 9 of Jim France.
With fresh tires.
Kirby has not stopped, nor has Atwood, and we're just past halfway.
Tell you what, Mike, that 107 car just come in of Buford's and put tires on, and he is really running right now, buddy.
He's flying. He just dove under the 41 of Jason Oates like Oates was stopped. And that was a pretty decent race car. Look at how quickly he gets away from that car.
Well, making the point, he's passed about 15 or 20 cars already, and he's just going on the outside, inside. There's no preferred line because that car is working so well on the fresh tires.
On the move back toward the front. Here's Joe Buford as he pulls down on Cecil Chun in 84.
See him passing there coming out of the corner. As we go back to the lead now, you can see that Casey is really getting a bite up off that corner.
And it's not a long ways back to Buford. Now I guess the question will be for Kirby, with Buford coming through the field that quickly. I would imagine Kirby would have to stop at least for fuel.
He would have to, and it would be sensible not to put tires on at the same time and have to run against them guys with fresher tires.
Look at Buford. He is working his way so fast back up towards the front that he's actually going to get there on the fresh tires. It looks like he's not going to burn them up before he gets back to the lead cars, and he's going to be in great shape.
That's a good point, man. Hoosier has done a great job developing what they call this economy tire for short tracks around the country, because all of these drivers have said you can run them as hard as you want, and you're not going to burn them up or abuse them. And Buford is doing just that as he pulls up on Jim France. Slice and dice, buddy.
I got to tell you something, Mike. Oh, what did we have? We got a smoker going down in the corner there. That's the 52 car of Dwayne Hudson.
He will not get to pit road this time. Let's see if he's able to make it all the way around, or if he pulls in down at the other end. He's going to do just that, it appears, and be able to limp his way back around. He'll be okay. We'll stay under green. And up to fifth now is Buford. There's Kirby, your leader. In the Mapco stores, Coors Light 42, or rather number 10, excuse me. There's 42 tomorrow. Kirby, 43, Casey Atwood. Earnhardt Jr.
Look at Buford right here. You think he's not closing out, Mike? He's all the way back up to fifth place, rather.
He keeps running about a lane higher than anybody, buddy, and that's really keeping that thing wound up real good, with new tires especially.
Well, you may see some glum faces then in Andy Kirby's pit, because he still has yet to come in, and so does Casey Atwood. One thing I noticed was only Buford was the only car able to run that fast, that high. And so I think Kirby and Atwood, when they do pit, are going to have a much tougher time trying to get through all this race traffic.
Well, I think they will, definitely, because they seem to only have one groove, like you was saying, and Buford seems to be pretty versatile on the racetrack anywhere he needs to go.
There's a 98, Billy James, who pitted under that last caution, along with Buford.
The 84 Cecil Chun right there. You remember him from back. His father used to work with Darrell Waltrip years back.
So James in that slaughterhouse number 98 going to pick up a spot.
Cecil was always also one that lost a car in that fire with Dale Jr. the other day. He lost the other car, and that's a backup car that they brought from home down here and made the race well.
All right, now James moves away from that track. That slaughterhouse is a haunted house that they run for Halloween. They, along with WSIX Radio, sponsor Billy James. Third in points here. There's his number 98. Trying to climb back up to the leaderboard after getting tires at lap 112. Number 9 having a good run. That's Jim France. Holding off the 0-3 of Jerry Underwood. He was posted as high as 6th. And there's Earnhardt battling Jeff Higdon.
Higdon's giving him all he can stand right now. You can see he has a little bit of position on him. They were going down the back straightaway there. Earnhardt's starting to wash out in the center part of the corner. That's going to be bad for him pretty soon here if he keeps doing that.
Higdon finished 14th in points here this year and won his first late model stock car victory this July.
With these Vice 5 tires, guys, when you come in and make that change the way they grow, the stagger don't necessarily get back to like you had earlier, and that's probably a problem with the 3 car right now.
I was watching Higdon in the 04, though. He run off on the flat just a second ago, and he had a reality check to get that thing back straight again, I'm going to tell you. But look at Buford moving up on him there to take that spot away and move up yet another spot. That puts him in 4th.
Squeeze play there, and Buford is back on the leaderboard. Back up front, Andy Kirby. And let's find out from Matt when Andy Kirby's going to stop.
Well, Jeff White, you guys have been talking it over back and forth on the radio. When are you guys going to pit?
We might not pit at all. It just depends. We'll have to play the fuel mileage out. I believe our tires will make it.
It looked pretty good. The car's been getting a little better as the race goes on, so it's really starting to come to us right now.
Well, he kind of hesitates when he says that, but they're going to try to go all the way, it sounds like.
Bobby, you're the expert here. What do you think as Buford moves underneath Dale Earnhardt
Whoa,
Jr.
trouble in the back straightaway.
Oh, a hard hit to the inside wall. And Casey Atwood is in it.
He turned to the inside of it and got loose and just smacked the inside wall. Looked like he hit pretty hard, too.
Atwood was the second place car.
Right.
And there's the 41 of Jason Oates. And there was a third car involved. A red car that came, slid through, and hit the inside wall pretty hard. That red flag you see waving is just for the entrance of pit road. We are under yellow. We're under caution. Here, let's see what happened here.
Let's take a look as they go down the back straightaway. You can see them come. Oh, well, there's contact coming out of the corner
91,
there.
Chad Mullis.
Well, he's fighting it. You can see him trying to get back in the throttle to straighten it up. It gets worse and worse, and around he comes. Now, look right at the top of the shot there. You could see Casey coming in, nowhere to go. He just had to come right in and got involved.
Yeah, he had to turn left, buddy, because, like you said earlier, the racetrack is so narrow back there. When the car started out, he knew he had to turn left, and it was such a severe left that he just lost the back end of the car when he did it.
And the number 41 Pontiac of Oates able to limp around here and continue. But that was a hard shot for Casey Atwood. Looks like they're going to hook him up to the wrecker. There's Casey. And the leader is coming to pit road. Andy Kirby, two-time track champion here. Brings the Mapco Chevrolet to the pits.
Proof of this, don't you ever listen to a crew chief. Here he comes.
We weren't going to come in, but now we are. Here's Matt.
Well, you heard him talking about the hesitation about maybe they may try to go all the way on gas. Well, no doubt about it now. They've stopped. They're going to get some gas. They're changing the right side tires. He said the car's a little bit loose. They're going to tighten it up. Good stop so far, but I guess it spoils their whole plans about going all the way because of all the yellow flags we've had so far.
Now they use one tire changer who jumps from the right front over the jack to the right rear instead of tossing the air wrench. A little different philosophy.
Mike, a lot of times they'll just take on two rear tires. If the car is real loose, they'll run around and just take on rear tires, or if you're really pushing real bad, they'll change the right front and the left front.
Well, we've had pit stops now as Casey Atwood's car is going up on the hook. 141 laps. We'll be right back.
Half.
There's Casey Atwood's car going up on the hook. And Bobby, you own half of that car?
Yeah, me and his father are partners in all our stuff. Even my cars at home, me and Terry Atwood own them together. And we've been lucky all year. That's what I said. I said, I claim the left-hand side now. The right-hand side wasn't. But it's just a real good relationship. But that's the first time that car's been tore up all year, and he's run here all year. So we've been in real good shape on it.
They brought two cars here, this Chevrolet and the Ford, that they later loaned to Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Let's watch again. I think our race leader was very, very close to being tangled up. You can see him going right on the outside in the 10 car there. You talk about being in the right place. Racing has always been a game of inches, Bobby.
It sure has. And I tell you what, you could see him hesitate for a minute, and he knew if he just hammered on down, he'd be in good shape. We might be able to see Casey here.
Yeah, 41 goes up to the wall, and Casey just nails him. Well, Dale Earnhardt Jr. is in the pits. Here's Matt.
Well, the right sides are off. They're going to be just the right side tires. They're going to make a little bit of a chassis adjustment with the stagger. They're going to put a 1/4 inch more stagger in the right rear. Now, keep in mind, he has that clutch trouble, so they're going to have to push him off as he goes to leave pit road.
Mike, there's one thing they're doing right now. They could see Buford making so much time on the fresh tires that there's not that many cars in the lead lap. They'll be able to get together and maybe come back and really salvage a good spot here near the end of the race. So I think this is heads up, even though he was in the lead when he come in.
There are 11 cars on the lead lap.
Woo, you could hear that trying to get up to speed there as Earnhardt gets out of the pit. I know he's happy to be back in high gear and moving.
I think it's his transmission anyhow. The one that was in there, he didn't like. He said, I got one in the truck. I said, well, you can put it in. So it's good. It's his transmission he's grinding on.
You don't own half
you
of that
just didn't want anybody to think that was one of your transmissions going bad.
Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s had quite a season. He had 8 poles this year at various racetracks, including here in Nashville on July 13th. Has 3 career late model stock car wins and finished second in the points this year at Myrtle Beach with 1 win in 24 starts. 5th in the points at Florence Speedway in South Carolina with 1 win in 16 starts.
We was listening to Andy Kirby's crew chief a few minutes ago, and Buddy was laughing about the way he was explaining it. And he was sitting there saying, well, we think it's going to come to us. And I was sitting there thinking, the only thing that's supposed to come to you is that yellow 107 car. If y'all don't get some tires on.
Well, now 11 cars in the lead lap as we get ready to go back to green. Joe Buford now assumes the lead with Kirby going to pit road. Second would now be the 04 of Jeff Higgins, now that Earnhardt has gone to pit road. In third will be the 99. That's Lee Tissot. In fourth, the 98 Billy James. In fifth, Jerry Underwood 03. In sixth, the 84 Susan Chun. In seventh, the 19 of Ryan Zeck. In eighth, the number 4 David Littleton. In ninth, the number 9 of Jim France. And then the cars that just pitted, Andy Kirby in the 10 and Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 3. If you just tuned in, Race Talk will follow this telecast immediately. We've got 54 laps to go here at Nashville Speedway USA in the COMDATA 200. Getting set for the restart here. See if Joe Buford can once again keep Charles Powell from getting a lap back. That's been his task most of the afternoon. Green flag. Again, Buford takes that high line down to turn 1 and really comes hard out of turn 2.
Boy, you can see Charlie Powell there in the 34 trying to make up that lap. He's 2 laps down due to tire trouble earlier in the race, but he and Buford on every restart have had a tug of war.
And it's been well worth it, buddy. I mean, we've tore up enough cars here that if he gets a lap back, he can still maybe get a top 10 finish out of this race.
For sure. Now here are the cars that pitted. Andy Kirby in 10. Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the 3, trying to pick their way through traffic in the back straightaway. They're still running back in 10th and 11th positions at the tail end of the lead lap.
You can see the blue car there. That's Dale Earnhardt Jr. putting a lot of pressure on the 10 car. AJ was leading this race not long ago. You can see Earnhardt all over him back there. He had a lot of race car he hadn't used yet.
Now they move up on the 9th place car. That's the yellow number 9 of Jim France.
They better get her in high gear, Mike, if they're going to catch Buford. He is flying up there leading this race. But back here, there's some tremendous racing as you see Earnhardt making the move off the corner there.
Well, Kirby tried the bottom side, so Earnhardt goes upstairs. Oh, Kirby almost took him 3 wide.
Look at this. It is 3 wide down the front straightaway as they head into turn 1. Earnhardt's driving the wheels off this car right now. Well, he's smoking again, too.
Just a little bit up there in the marbles, and Kirby gets underneath it. Lap car down to the bottom. Paul Cummings, 47. They may have to single file it around him. Little bump and run there.
I don't know. I think Earnhardt might have a little problem. He's smoking a little bit too much now. You can see it trailing the car as he goes through the corner.
Well, he hit Andy in the back end, and the left front fender's caved in on it. Now, I don't know if that's tire smoke. That happened about 2 laps ago, and I've been looking at it, and I can't tell if it's tire smoke or oil smoke.
He's definitely got problems on the left front, but he's also dropping off on his time. You see it smoking right there.
Just that little bit, buddy, when he breaks going into 1.
Mike, if it's that left front that's smoking, though, when you're back here in the driver's seat, it comes directly past you, so it's a lot more than just casual.
Well, I thought he was going to try to straighten that fender out right there.
Well, he's back under full zone again. As you see him heading down in the corner, he's driving the wheels off of it, but I'm afraid if that thing keeps dragging like it is, you can see how shiny the left front tire is from rubbing.
It's definitely rubbing on it. It's what it does, it goes in the corner in that left front.
goes into compression, right there, it touches on the sheet metal there.
Well, they're up to 9th and 10th, and they're challenging David Littleton for 8th. And the number 4, Kirby, goes on past and picks up the 8th spot. And so does Earnhardt, move up to 9th. So on fresh tires, Kirby now 8th, and Earnhardt Jr. now 9th. Meanwhile, Joe Buford is trying to drive off into another zip code. He is all by himself, hoping this goes green the distance. And if it does, they may not be able to catch him.
We're getting word that they're going to black flag Dale Earnhardt Jr. because of the smoke from that car. They're a little bit worried about it. It's a little more smoke than they don't want to see right now.
He slides it off turn 4. There's the black flag. A little less smoke than there was, but still. If that tire rub continues, it may cut the tire down, and that would be a safety problem not only for Earnhardt, but for everybody behind him.
Right. Well, he's already gotten a black flag, and you see he hasn't come in yet. They'll give it to him again, and about 2 more laps, they'll quit scoring the car.
Well, the sun's in his eyes coming out of turn 4, buddy. So.
Yeah, but that scorecard will be out of here, too. He'll have to come in.
Okay, here's Dale Jr. coming to pit road. They'll pull that fender away and hope that's the extent of the problem. See if he can do it here without losing a lap. I doubt it.
Man, that's valuable time he's losing right now.
Yep. Joe Buford is on a tear. He's going to come around and put Dale Jr. 1 lap down right here. So that'll move Andy Kirby and the rest of that group following up a notch. Continue. Here's your leader, Buford. And Earnhardt's going to be 2 laps down right here. Also slowing in the back straightaway, Ryan Zeck, who had a good run going, 1 lap down. So the Cone Oil 107 FM. Ford for Joe Buford. Has been the class of the field thus far. One reason being he could run that high groove and get off the corner like nobody else. But it's been win or fail to finish for Buford much of this season. This one's not over yet. .38 laps to go here in Nashville.
You know, Mike, when you get out front like that and you don't have anybody putting a lot of pressure on you, you learn to get in a rhythm. And you start driving a little slower, then all of a sudden you start pulling off from the field, and everything just comes so simple when you don't have the pressure.
We'll be right back. Joe Buford continues to lead as the laps wind down, and you'll see Race Talk immediately following our telecast here from Nashville. It was more than a tire rub on Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s car, but hitting the wall hard as Billy James. He was the 4th place car in that slaughterhouse number 98, and it looks like it was trick rather than treat this Halloween season.
Mike, you can see all the water and all coming out of the car there on the front.
It almost looks like a trail of oil going to the car before it even hit. Or maybe it's the way it hit up there and spun back.
Another driver who's out of the race, more than a tire rub on Dale Earnhardt Jr.'s car. Here's Matt.
Well, Dale, you soldiered on with some clutch trouble. Looked like you still had a chance to win. What finally put you out?
We had the transmission come out of the car. On the first lap, we lost the clutch out of the car, and I got a real bad vibration, and the rear seal come out of the transmission. And but the car was a super car. Bobby Hamilton loaned it to us, and I want to thank him for doing that. I had a lot of fun. You know, we want to come out here and race and put on a show for the fans. And we had the lead there for a second, but we didn't think we had a fast enough car to win. So we come in, change tires again, and my crew done an excellent job. And you know, we lost a car earlier this week, but you know, it shows what kind of family your NASCAR is. They loan you a race car, they loan you anything. So, you know, I want to thank Bobby and that. And I want, you know, we tried to, you know, get the mom and pop's Chevrolet out there, but she caught on fire and burnt to the ground. But we got the race anyways.
Looks like you and Casey were having a lot of fun out there running 3rd and 4th together.
Well, yeah, Casey's a good driver. You know, he had some bad luck as well, but you know, he's real good to be as young as he is, and he sticks at it and keeps his head straight. He'll have a good career ahead of him. That whole Atwood family is real good people. They actually own the car, I believe, but you know, they didn't have no one problem with us barring it, and you know, we tried to run well with it.
Well, that's Dale Jr. Next year, he's hoping to maybe move into the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. They're still unsure about their plans, but that's the way it looks like it's headed.
Thanks, Matt. The car that was in the fence just then, Billy James, Rookie of the Year here in 1995, started out at Smoky Mountain Speedway on dirt, won a championship at Newport, and then at 411 Speedway, where he has 9 career wins up there. And he was in the top 5, buddy, when this happened.
Well, you see the 99 of Tristan going down the back straightaway. The 10 goes on the outside. And just behind him, you really couldn't see what happened there from that shot, but I would imagine he probably got in a little hot on the outside there, turned around, got into the outside wall, and you can see the end results.
Billy James was in the top 5.
I tell you somebody, the 04 car, Jeff Hidkin, has been moving quietly all day long. We hadn't really noticed it, and all of a sudden he's running second. And, you know, there for a while he was running with Dale Jr. Casey, and it looked like he was just barely holding on, but he's managed to keep his nose clean, and it looks like he's going to have a good finish today.
Got his first win here at Nashville in this division this July in a 50-lapper. Had 3 wins in the limited division last year, finishing 3rd in points. So having a good run here today is Jeff Higdon, that 04 car, presently in 2nd place. We're going to clean this up in turn number 4, and we're going to get back to green flag racing here at Nashville Speedway. We'll be right back. Race on into the all-new and official store of NASCAR. NASCAR Thunder is now open at Gwinnett Place Mall in Atlanta and Haynes Mall in Winston-Salem. And it's coming to Westtown Mall in Knoxville and Vista Ridge Mall in Dallas. And next year, 10 to 12 new stores, with locations to be announced. Go Racing is the official clothing of all NASCAR Thunder locations, so be sure to check it out. Joe Buford Jr., his dad, a former track champion here, and Joe notes in his bio that he is proud to be a graduate of the Buck Baker Driving School. Is that where he learned to run that high groove?
I can tell you one thing, wherever he learned what he's doing today is working for him, because that boy has been on a mission all day long, come in, took on fresh tires, and then just a matter of laps, he was back in the top 10, and now you see he's leading the race.
Bo Shacklett does the motors for car 107, a Ford. Joe also won a 125-lap Southern All-Star Series race on the 6th of July. Late model points runner-up in 94. About 25 laps to go here. And the 04 of Jeff Higdon is all over Buford going into 1, but look at the differential right there in that high groove. Buford comes off the corner with a 3-car length lead. They went into that corner nose to tail.
Now what he does there by running that high line, he keeps RPMs up because he does not bind the car up in the center part of the corner. You can see he has tremendous drive off the corner.
3rd place changes hands as Andy Kirby gets around the 99 of Lee Tissett. Here comes Kirby.
See Kirby there, a little tail happy coming out of the corner, but when you're running hard as he is now, trying to make this time up on the leader there, you can see he's letting it all go right now. He's not holding anything to the bank, is he?
No, he's going as hard as he can go, and he's got to. You know, the laps are winding down, and he knows that his strong point is long runs, and if he can get up there and put that pressure on Buford, then he might mess his rhythm up a little bit and get a nose up under him.
2nd place at stake right now, 04. Jeff Higdon has it. Andy Kirby, the track champion here in Nashville, is the man who wants it.
You know, we was talking earlier, buddy, about the Powell boy in the 34 car trying to get his lap back, and we was saying how important it was. If he could just get a lap back, he could be in 10th place. The rundown showing he's in 10th place, 2 laps down right now.
Oh, my. But that's due to all that. Right. But you can tell that he has a fast car. I mean, he's running well. But you can see 2nd, 3rd place is not decided by any means as they go down the back straightaway here.
Jeff Higdon in 04, his dad, Charlie Higdon Sr. does the engines in that car. A perfected drywall Chevrolet, about to surrender 2nd spot to Andy Kirby on the bottom.
Andy Kirby's got a lot of motor. I just watched him pull to the left-hand side and pull 2 car lengths as he went by the 04 there of Jeff Higdon.
His car owner, Bobby Link, owns the automotive shop here in town, buddy, and he builds the motors in that car, and they have a very, very unique engine program. They even do their own 9-to-1 off-road motors.
Yep, we'll see Kirby again tomorrow in the All-American 400 here on TNN. But he's got a ways to go to catch Joe Buford. About 3 seconds is the differential first to second.
I tell you, he's learning something today that he can use tomorrow. I think it's very, very good to run this race today and for the race that's coming up tomorrow. You'll learn a lot of things about what you want to do to the chassis on that car. Even though they're different type of race cars, a lot of things work the same.
Well, especially the grooves, buddy, and the tires are pretty similar to what we're running in the Sunday race, too, so you're right, he will learn a lot about it.
And one thing, too, I think, is we have 15 laps to go here. The late model drivers here at Nashville may have a little advantage going into this race over the All-Pro regulars because the track has changed a lot from March when this pavement was brand new. These drivers have been running it all season, and some of the All-Pro drivers told me it's not as easy to cut the car in the middle of the corner as it was when they came here in March on fresh pavement. They've been having a little bit of a time getting a handle on the surface here.
It goes right back to the straightaway speeds the All-Pro cars run, what we all three was talking about earlier. You run so fast down the straightaways, you go in the corner, then the car don't want to turn as good because you went in there so hot. Well, these cars aren't running as fast down the straightaway, and they actually run freer through the corner. And also for tomorrow's race, they have a tire that they run at Bristol, a very hard tire that'll go long distances.
Live coverage of the 400 tomorrow here on TNN, followed by the Craftsman Truck Series race from California. Well, I think the strategy of Joe Buford on that last restart was a good one. Get as far away from the field as possible. Let's show you the differential. First to second, there is Andy Kirby. He is gaining fractionally on Buford.
Mike, there's one nice thing about having a good cushion like that. When you look back in the mirror, the first thing you need to do is take care of your tires. Even though you do have a great lead like that, he can run a smoother line. And to answer your question a while ago, Buford is a graduate of the Buckbaker Driving School, and I'm kind of proud of that because we also have Jeff Gordon, who's a graduate there, and also Johnny Benson. So we do something right down there.
Can I go?
That's the voice of Bobby Hamilton, two-time track champion that's been up here with us throughout the running of this 200 laps today. We're happy to have him with us. There's your second place driver, Andy Kirby, the track late model stock car champion.
Oh, trouble off turn 4.
And 2 cars are in it. One is the number 9 of Jim France, involved with the 21 of Todd Gray. 8 laps to go, and the caution comes out. We've been caution-free for about the last 50 laps.
Well, do you think this will make it interesting, buddy?
That closes all of the gap up there. I'll tell you what, this restart's going to be exciting. With just a handful of laps to go, it's going to be exciting.
France was the 6th place car in that number 9. And in 8th place, 1 lap down, was posted the car number 21 of Todd Cray. Kind of remarkable since he was tied up in one of those red flag incidents, but evidently did not lose a lap. And AAA Ben's best Chevrolet of France. Inside to make repairs there.
This caution won't last very long. They've been cleaned away here, and it won't take just a little bit to get them back underway here.
I wonder if they have a lineup rule here, like 10 to go or something, single file. I don't know if they do or not. They used to. That would make it real interesting if no lap cars was.
Yeah, I like a single file, but
well, I think Buford would like a double file restart because he gets into the corner in that top group better than anybody here.
We're talking about what I like. Okay. I'm a spectator right now. I want to see some good racing here at the end.
Well, we'll find out momentarily. We'll get to see a little bit of what happened here in turn number 4 between the yellow number 9 of France and the red 21 of Todd Cray. Look at the top left of your screen.
Looks like he's by himself, don't he?
Yep. And the hole closes up down at the bottom. So a very tough break for France, who was running in 6th place. There's a look at Todd Cray's machine, former quarter midget star out of New Jersey.
you know, though even Francis tore up, it looks like he's rolling again. If he can just ride around and finish, he's still got a shot at a top 7 or 8 place finish.
I think you're right.
Single file restart, Mike, we're hearing, and they're just giving them 1 to go. They're going to drop the green flag in 1 lap.
Well, that single file restart rule is perhaps good news for Andy Kirby and not such good news for the race leader Joe Buford. So that'll put I believe that will put all the lead lap cars up to the front. So there is Buford, your leader, Kirby in second, 04 Higdon in third, 99 Lee Tissett in fourth, the 4 of David Littleton in fifth, and the 03 of Jerry Underwood in sixth. Now 1 lap down is the 28 of Joe Brantley, and 1 lap down is the 9 of Jim France. Then it's Charles Powell in 34 and the 5 of Andy Houston. We're back under green, and what a start for Buford.
A.W. Kirby had a problem on this restart there. He's dropping back through the field. Did not get a clean start. I think he missed a gear, Bobby.
Yeah, I seen it puff that bit of smoke out. He definitely missed a gear, Bobby.
What a break for Jeff Higdon. Brings him up into second place. And Joe Buford can breathe easy here with 4 laps to go.
Lee Tissett's running in third now. That was a great break, but I'll tell you one thing. It wasn't a break for Buford. Buford's run a flawless race all day. He's had a great restart. He's got about a 7 or 8 car length lead right now over second place.
Kirby has dropped back to 6th, the last car in the lead lap as he pulls alongside the 03 of Jerry Underwood. Kirby makes the pass for 5th place. 3 laps to go.
Mike, that's one thing you always worry about on restarts this close to the end. He was trying to get a great start, and what he did, he probably just jerked the thing back and missed his gear. That's a horrible feeling.
So Kirby in 5th, Littleton in 4th, about 2 car lengths ahead. Tough to pass with just 2 laps to go. Joe Buford, the Cone Oil 107 FM Thunderbird.
1 to go.
And he is way out front, looking for his 17th career victory.
Man, that's a great feeling when you're up there with a great race car like that. It's Buford's race. He's run perfect all day.
Higdon will be second. The battle is for 4th as Kirby comes side by side with Littleton and doesn't quite make it. Has to settle for 5th. Joe Buford will head for victory lane along with his car owner, former track champion, his dad Fluky, and we'll be there in a moment. Joe Buford making a congratulatory call there. Started racing in '89 on local dirt tracks and switched to asphalt in Nashville in 1991. He was Rookie of the Year in the Limited Sportsman Division. Matt Yoakum, if he can interrupt that call, can get a word with our winner.
Well, Joe, congratulations. You had to make that call to the big man, Fluky. What a win today.
Yeah, you know, I wish my father could be here because it's the first 200 lap I've won, and it's just very emotional. You know, we've had bad luck this year, and the last 3 races we've just been, thanks to these guys right here, the Action Engineering, who built this car, and Cone Oil 107.5 The River for sponsoring me this year. You know, if it wasn't for all those folks, it'd just be hard to be standing right here.
Well, it's a great win today. Obviously, it's kind of fitting, isn't it, that the winner of today's race, who has a music station on the side, gets to take home a Gibson guitar.
There's that guitar in the background behind Joe Buford that he'll get as his victory trophy here today. Buford is the winner. Jeff Higdon finishes in a fine, hard-earned second place. Lee Tissett is third. David Littleton 4th. 5th goes to Andy Kirby after the problem on that restart. 6th on the lead lap is Jerry Underwood. 1 lap down in 7th, Joe Brantley. In 8th, Charles Powell. In 9th, Andy Houston. And in 10th, Jim France. Wild show, buddy.
Yeah, if you think this is something, folks, tune in tomorrow for more.
And thanks to Bobby Hamilton for joining us up here in the booth, the driver of Richard Petty's STP Pontiac. He'll be out there tomorrow in the Manheim Auctions All-American 400. You'll see that live right here on the Nashville Network, along with the Craftsman Truck Series race from Bakersfield, California. Great live doubleheader tomorrow here on TNN. Those of you waiting for race talk, thanks for being patient. We're going to take you there next. In the meantime, it's been a great day of racing here at Nashville Speedway. For Buddy Baker and Bobby Hamilton and Matt Yoakum, I'm Mike Joy. So long from Nashville.